Hello everyone, it's Pat from Beads and Plenty More, and today I'm going to talk about doing repairs. Sometimes we find a few things in our jewelry box that needs to be fixed up, and maybe I can help show you how to do a few things. In the store we offer these repair kits that we've got one that's 40 inches long and one that's 24, and so what happens with this is that you can just buy whatever piece of jewelry you want, or actually beads in strands or whatever that you'd like, and you can thread it and finish the other end and have an instant necklace. Now again, I was talking about repairs, and so if you need to restring something, this would be the ideal way to restring. So what I've done is I've taken the shorter one here and I've strung up some beads to show you exactly how this works. So here's my choice of beads. I've taken a couple of semi-precious stones and added a few metal ones in, and this is going to be a choker style necklace. So here's the pieces from the other side. So the kit already came with the lobster clasp already attached, and then on the other side we have a circle that the lobster will hook into and 2 crimp beads. So I'm going to show you how you're going to finish those crimp beads on with the circle. So we'll tighten this all up, make sure that the tail of the tiger wire is nicely enclosed inside these beads. And I'm going to pick up these 2 crimp beads. 1, 2, and they will drop down to the beads. So we take the ring and we'll go through it, and then we're going to go back through these crimp beads. I'm going to just bring them up a little bit, and if you put them on top of your finger, then the whole side will come to the top and makes it much easier to get the wire back through. So there we are. I've got the wire back through those tiny beads, and I will then bring this wire through about 3 of the beads in the necklace so that we can get the tail nicely buried and we don't have any trouble with it coming loose at the clasp. So get that, a hold of that, and we'll bring that up, tighten it up nicely. Also, I suggest that you make sure that you curve your unit while you're working on it, so that you don't, if you have it out straight like that, then you could end up with it not having a nice curve to it when you finish. So a good idea is to put your pliers into the ring, and then you can snug that up like that. Okay, so once you get it pulled up so that there's no gaps, and you should always check your necklace that there isn't a gap somewhere in case that the tail is tucked in on this end. So this tail is going to get cut off. But first of all, I'm going to take these 2 crimp beads, go in with my chain nose pliers, and squeeze down nice and hard. Try and get them both at the same time, and that way you get them sitting nice and flat. Okay, so then we'd have a pair of scissors, and if I bring this up nice and snug and go in with the scissors tight as I can and give it a clip. So there we have a restringing or a new necklace made, whichever way you want to see it, but they both work, and we'll just hook that on there. Okay, so there's a restringing with a repair kit, and the reason for the repair kits is that if you were to buy all these units separately, you'd have tiger wire, crimp beads, clasp, and jump rings. So that is quite a bit to purchase compared to just having the kit that we made up. Okay, so going on to something else. Okay, I'm back to talk about restringing with elastic. I have a piece strung up here on some elastic, and I'm good. Oftentimes, if you're shortening something, taking out a couple of beads, about the only way to do it is to restring it, because you wouldn't likely have enough cord left over to retie it. So with the elastic, we're going to do what they call a surgeon's knot. You go around once, draw it up, and then you're going to go back with your cords and go around twice. And this works equally well if you do it with the 2 first and the 1 second. So don't worry about getting it exactly the same as I'm showing. So there's my knot. We're going to now then put some glue on it. We're going to put glue on the top, turn it over, and put glue on the bottom. And then take one of these strands and pop it through this future bead that has a large hole, and it's easy then to draw the knot right inside the bead, and it makes a perfect circle then. So that's how you can work with elastic to restring, or to create in the first place as well. Another little trick is if you end up with a short piece of thread, if your clasp breaks, you might be able to work with these bead tips. They come in from the side and they've got a little cup, and then there's a little hook that goes back into the clasp. So what would you do is that you'd either put a crimp bead on the little short piece, or you could put a seed bead, and then you put it inside this little cup, and the seed bead you'd want to crush and put glue into it. It wouldn't hurt even with the crimp bead to add some glue. You close this little cup down, which has it looking very much like a round bead then, and then this piece would hook back into the clasp. This will sometimes work if you have that little short piece of either thread or tiger wire that's left over when the clasp breaks. So that's another option. We do have them in a much smaller size as well, which would be tidier if you have a small unit you're working with. This big one is easier for me to show. Now another thing, if you have a necklace that's too short, you can always use a chain extender. And that, all a chain extender is a piece of chain with a lobster clasp on the one end. And you will hook the lobster into the round circle from the necklace, and then the lobster clasp that's on the necklace can hook into any part of this chain. That way, if you have a neckline that's higher or lower, you can adjust the necklace to hook in a little bit higher and a little bit lower and fit the neckline a little bit better. Plus you can get your extra length if it's too tight around the neck. So that would be a way to extend the length. Another thing that you could do to extend just a little bit is to work with a few jump rings. And so working with jump rings, you want to take your pliers. I have chain nose pliers here that are nice and sturdy for holding. And when you take a jump ring and open it, you want to open it in on itself into the circle. And then to close it again, you go back again, and it matches up very nicely. You can go over here and give it a squeeze, and maybe you could hear that click. That's a perfect close when you get that click. So then to join one to the next, oh, this one needs to be opened up a little bit more. Again, turn it in on itself a little bit and hook up here. Now when you're lengthening, you might need to use 3 jump rings because they change direction as you hook them together. I'll give that another little click together. See, I'll show you what I mean. So if you start out with the flat, then adding just one, you're going to go this direction. So then you'll need to add another one to go back to the flat direction. So that's another way of doing a little bit of a repair or adding a bit of length. So chain extenders, jump rings, and of course the side bead tips can be very helpful. So I hope that maybe you can fix up some of your older jewelry to revamp it, or can create something new if you like. And thanks for listening. Bye for now.